Hello and welcome to Pearls of Parmadice. My name is Courtney and I'm coming to you from Parma, Ohio, where I live with my husband, Mason, and all of our yarn. Today is Friday, February 28th. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're new here, a huge welcome to you. Thanks for checking out my channel. And if you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that you have decided to spend some time knitting or crocheting or whatever it is that you're doing right now and listening to me ramble on for a while about crafty, yarny goodness. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks, friends. How are you guys doing? Are you hanging in there? I feel like this February has been 100 years long. I don't normally mind February. In fact, I like winter a lot most of the time. But outside my window, there is green grass right now, and I could not be happier about that. So that's lovely. I guess that's your Parmadice weather report. We finally have some green grass. Yeah, all the regular YouTube stuff. You can find me all the places on the internet. Those are linked down below. I started using this app called Finch. It's a self-care app where you raise a little bird, kind of like a Tamagotchi, but you can't kill it. And it's all through self-care goals. It's great. So if you want to friend me on there, if you also are using Finch, my friend code for that is linked down below now, as well as my Pokemon Go friend code. We'll talk about Pokemon later, but it's a big Pokemon weekend this weekend. And I'm pretty excited about it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, I say this every time, but I do think that this episode will be a quick one. I don't have a ton to talk about, but we'll see. Admin, just a couple things to mention. Number one, Giant Mini Mal 2025, still going on. That you can find details on my Instagram page or on my Ravelry page, in our Ravelry group. Again, all of that is linked down below. Basically, the idea is to use up those mini skeins, scraps, leftovers that weigh under 50 grams. That's kind of the goal. And if you use one mini in a project, whole project counts. If you use 25 minis in a project, that project counts. Whatever, it's mostly low key. Really fun, quarterly prizes. Yeah, it's really great. It's just about using up our leftovers, using up our bits that we have, and getting them out of our stash. The second thing that I want to mention is obviously I'm here. Last time I said that I might not be here. We might be doing something fun. That fun thing has gotten pushed back a couple of weeks, which is perfect. That's what we wanted. It's great. All good things. So obviously I'm here. That probably means in a couple of weeks I won't be here. I might release a video at some point, in 2 weeks. I might not. My work schedule will be changing this coming week permanently, I think. So, yeah, pretty permanently. So I'm going to give myself kind of the month of March to just get adjusted to that and take a little break. So I probably won't see you in 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks after that, but you never know. You never know. I might come back early. I don't know. We'll see, but just be aware if you don't see a video 2 weeks from now, everything is fine, hopefully. I'm just taking a little break. Are we ready to get into the knitting? So, you know what? Before we get into the knitting, I'm going to show you Mason's crochet finished object that I was supposed to show like 2 or 3 podcasts ago and keep forgetting about. So, okay. I am not a Zelda person. I don't really know anything about The Legend of Zelda. I've played, I always say it wrong because I call it Majora's Mask, but that's not it. Whatever, some Zelda game one time. And Mason is super into Zelda. He's doing like this Zelda creative writing project. He's very into it. It's one of his favorite video game franchises. And this guy thing, creature is from those games. So this is Try. I wish I could tell you more. But what I can tell you that I think is super cool is there's no pattern for this. Mason just kind of free-handed it. And for somebody who has not been crocheting terribly long, I think he did a pretty good job. So it's like this ball and then these crocheted, this is blowing out horribly, triangle things. I'm explaining this terribly, but I really don't know. But he's kind of cute. I think these are eyes. I don't know. I don't know this character. But what's super cool is he is made out of the Lion brand DIY Glow Cozy yarn. And Angela, who was my partner for an Advent swap we did, she, for Christmas, sent Mason 3 skeins of this glow-in-the-dark yarn, and he has been having so much fun with it. He had always wanted to try the glow-in-the-dark yarn, and I think our little Try guy came out pretty cute. So that is what, because a few of you have asked, that is what Mason has been working on. He's been working on that. He has also been working on his game day hat. I forgot to ask him to get out his crochet stuff this morning, so I don't know where any of it is and I don't want to mess anything up. But his game day hat from Marley Bird's Game Day Make-Along, he has not gotten very far on it, but that's okay. And he's also crocheting some more like little scrubbies for my face. He promised those to me a while ago, and I need more, so he's been working on those. So thanks for asking, those of you who have asked about how Mason's crochet is going. Yeah, hopefully, maybe that's what we'll do in 2 weeks. Maybe we'll just do like a mini episode. I don't know. Maybe Mason will come on. I don't know. It's been a while since he's checked in with all of you. Okay, so that's it for the crochet, because you guys know I don't touch the hooks. I don't know. I have 1 finished object, 2 blanket works in progress today, and 1 work in progress that we've got to talk about. So, do you want to see my finished object? So, as you guys know, I am participating in Stitch Quest, which is a make-along hosted by Amy of Happy Little Yarn and Andrea of the CATT, C-A-T-T, Craft All the Things, Lady podcast, which if you haven't even looked at that, even if you're not a fantasy person, it is a fantasy-based make-along. I am not a fantasy person at all, but I am loving this. It's so fun. So on Sunday the 16th, they posted a challenge. And the challenge was to create some kind of headwear, a headband, a hat, whatever. Because there's this, I'm so bad at fantasy, I don't know. I don't remember if she's a witch or a goddess or somebody who can she's a lady who is not human, who can twist your thoughts and stuff and confuse you. So you're supposed to make something to put on your head to keep that from happening. And immediately I was like, well, I have to do this challenge. And the deadline is today. So I dropped everything I was working on and immediately looked through my patterns. I just random number generated a hat pattern from my queue, honestly. And, didn't even random, just did the random search on Ravelry through my queue, to find a hat pattern. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is Reindeer Games by Megan Regan, who is also the host of, she doesn't really put videos out much anymore. She's one of the first podcasters I ever found. And I loved her. I have watched every single thing she's posted ever. Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits. So if you want to, want a ton of episodes of Somebody's to just binge through. If you've never watched her, she is delightful. And I think right now she's more just busy being a mom, which is awesome. But this is her Reindeer Games pattern. And you guys, you know, I've been trying to get yarn out of my stash, all these leftovers, all these little bits. So these are these 2 yarns. Oh, I can't talk today. Were left over from when I made the Anakin cowl for Mason a couple of years ago. And I've been saving them for something, I don't know what, but I wanted to make something for him with them. I'm pretty sure he bought the yarn. So, you know, if he buys the yarn, I want to make sure I use up what I have in something that's going to him. And this was perfect. So the yarn is Kraemer Perfection Worsted in the colorways, what was this one? Granite. Stark gray is Granite, and the beige is Fauna. And let me put it on. It is not my best color work, but I was kind of experimenting. I follow some people on Instagram who don't catch their floats, and I thought, I'll try not catching my floats. Turns out I'm in camp. Catch your floats. Catch those floats. I love a good caught float. But, I don't know. It's kind of cute. He likes it. It's got a nice folded brim, which I know I kind of messed up. You can see how slanty it is, but whatever. We don't care. I'm going to take that off. It's not for me. It did come out a little bit tight, but whatever. It's fine. It is wearable. It is fine. It is cute. I love the color work. I think it's so fun. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. This used up 102 grams. I have maybe a yard and a half left, maybe, of the Fauna. Like, we were playing yarn chicken. I won, but we were playing yarn chicken. Like, maybe a yard and a half, 2 yards of that left. And then I used 25 grams of, I think 25, 26, something like that, grams of the Granite. So that's really great. I have 12 grams of Granite left. So I'm almost thinking of doing like a coffee cozy and then using the Fauna to duplicate stitch like a heart or something on it just to get it all used up and out of my stash. But there we go. I am very pleased with it. And, the power or whatever I'm ascribing to this hat is when she tries to twist your thoughts, like your mind can jump around over her spells, just like a reindeer. So that is my one and only finished object, and I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't expect to knit this. You guys, I don't know what is going on. 2025 so far seems to be the year of hats. I feel like hats are a really great way to pump yarn out of your stash kind of quickly without a ton of thought. I don't know. And right now, mindless has kind of been where it's at. So that being said, let's move into whips. Let's talk about the one we'll do the only whip I'm going to talk about outside of blankets first. I was so excited about this. I had such high hopes. So living in my little Molly Klein Designs bag with all these cute little gnomes is my Rye sock. And you guys know, if you've been around, that this was my New Year's Day cast on. And I was super excited about it. We had a very cold January, pretty cold February up until this past week or so. I was really excited about having a pair of DK weight socks. Also, let's just look. Let's take a minute to appreciate how well Maleficent coordinates with the yarn I chose. It was giving me Scooby-Doo vibes, but now it's kind of giving me Maleficent. And that is making me happy. What I don't know about. So, and if you have knit DK weight socks, if you are a DK weight sock knitter, please weigh in on this. Please comment. Please tell me. Please message me something. How do you all decide your stitch count? So normally on a fingering weight yarn sock, I am a 60 or 64, depending on how the pattern's written. Either one fits me pretty well. I prefer a size US 1.5 for my socks, but sometimes I do a US 1. I would never do a 60 stitch on a US 1 for me. I'd only do a 64 on that. Anyway, so I don't remember what size I chose. It's like 48 stitches. This is the Rye DK by Tin Can Knits, by the way, if you're not familiar with it. So last time I showed this, I was here and I thought I was ready for the heel, right? Okay, so then I measured it and looked at the pattern and I was short. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. I've enjoyed just kind of knitting this. I'll keep knitting the leg. Great. Knit the leg. Awesome. Here is where it all fell apart. It all fell apart at the heel. And I remembered this from when I knit my Rye fingering socks. Of course, I remembered later than, would have been preferable. I do not love, it's fine. I like it. It's fine. The heel on my Rye fingering socks because it's just this stockinette heel. There's no slip stitch. It's not an eye of partridge. I don't know. And I feel like it ends up kind of baggy. I don't know. Is that just me? Is that a me thing? Does anyone else experience this? So I did not even make it all the way through the heel flap before I was like, if I knit this, as far as the heel flap is supposed to go, the heel flap's going to be like 3 or 4 inches long. That is excessive for a heel flap. So I cut my heel flap short, just adjusted my stitch count and stuff, did my heel turn, all of that. And I'm working, I've picked up for the gusset. And I've tried it on and listen, it's either going to fit and it's going to fit fine and it's going to be nice or it's really not. And I have not cut any of my yarn because I don't know. Should I rip it back? Should I rip back to here and then do the full heel? That's a really long heel flap. I don't know. Should I size down a needle for the heel? What should I do? I mean, a part of me kind of wants to knit through the gusset and then try it on and just see what I think. And I just sort of knit the heel till it was about the length of a heel on my fingering weight socks. But I don't know, is a heel flap on a DK weight sock? Like, is it supposed to be longer? That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, and it could be one of those things. This is kind of where I was when the challenge for that hat came out. And that was perfect because I was like, okay, good. I can put this down and pick up something else and have a success. I needed a success in that moment because I really want to get these. I really want these socks. I really want to get them done. What do you all think? Any advice is welcome. If you are a DK weight sock knitter, because I would love to be a DK weight sock knitter, it would get a lot of yarn out of my stash. It would be really fun. It would be really great in the winter to have some thicker, cozy socks, even ones that are just for like bed or around the house. Like, I'd really like to knit some more DK weight socks, but I would like them to be successful. So if you have tips, I would love to hear them. The yarn, this is Yarnable. Oh, I don't have the ball band with me. But this is Yarnable. Couldn't tell you what the colorway was. It'll, it's on previous episodes and stuff. And I won this yarn from Trish of the Best Day Ever Crafting podcast, from her and Rochelle of Where to Go. Rochelle also has a podcast. I can't think, but they last year did the Year of the Sweater make along, and I won one of the monthly prizes, and that was what it was. And Queen Yarn Boutique, I think it's Queen Yarn Boutique or something. I don't know why I can never remember her podcast name. Anyways, she's amazing though. She really is. She's amazing. Rochelle, I know sometimes you watch, you're amazing. I'm sorry that for some reason it's escaping me. And then this is Cornbread and Honey in the colorway Deep Purple on her DK base. So I love these yarns together. It's not the yarn. The yarn's not the problem. I just don't know what the problem is. I kind of think maybe I need to rip back and then just knit a slip stitch heel and move on with my life. So I feel like this seems too wide. Like, doesn't that seem really wide? I don't know. I'm going to quit talking about this though, because I just don't even know what to do. And I am knitting this on a size US 3 needle. And I do have 2.5 US 2.5 needles, so I could even go down a half needle for the heel. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Should I keep going and then try it on? Should I rip back? What should I do? You tell me. I've been talking about these too long. Let's move on. Okay. I know, you're like, what's in this bag? Well, this is where my Beekeeper's quilt is living for now. Well, most of it's not living in here. But this is the Beekeeper's quilt by Tiny Owl Knits. And I have moved it into my Aladdin bag. And this bag is by Faith's Thread. They no longer are in business, which is so sad. I love their bags. But this week was the Tales of Agrabah update in Disney Dreamlight Valley. And if you've been around, you know I'm obsessed with Disney Dreamlight Valley. I had completed all the things a while ago, so I was very excited for this update. And this update was Jasmine and Aladdin coming to the valley. I already have Jafar. Now I've got both of them. And Magic Carpet. So that's very fun. And I felt like I wanted my winter bag to go away, even though it was the Evolutions, but you know. Okay, if you're new, I am using Fangirl Fibers Pokemon July countdowns from years 2022 and 2023 to, yeah, that's right, to make the Beekeeper's quilt, which are these little hexie puffs. And my goal is essentially to average one a week every month. Not one hexie puff. I'm sorry, one mini skein. One mini skein, which is 7 hexie puffs each month. So I showed you all the Cyndaquil colorway on the last episode. I think I showed this one too. This is electric type. I finished that. I finished the Shinx colorway. And Pikachu. So if you don't know any of the rest of these, everybody knows Pikachu. And this is the Pikachu colorway. So those were all of my February mini skein goals. I finished those. That was amazing. I'm really proud of myself. I have kept up on this and I am loving it. And I finished early, and I have not done my 30 minutes on this yet today, but I started my March colorways that I'm going to do. And this one is Chin Chow. So, okay, Mason, I know you watch and I won't remember this by the time you get home. So idea for a plushie. I wonder if you could make a Chin Chow plushie and use your glow-in-the-dark yarn for the yellow parts. That could be really fun. Okay. Because I probably won't remember by the time you get home, but that would be fun. Anyways, that's how we are doing on the Beekeeper's quilt. I am loving this project, and quite a few of you have mentioned that you have one going. I don't know. I feel like it's just fun to encourage each other with that. Would you all be interested if I made a thread in the Ravelry group? No, I don't, not like a formal make along, because this project, I've realized as much as I want this done this year, it's not going to get done this year. It's just not. Because life happens, and another reason, which we're going to talk about later, it's not going to get done this year. I don't want to do a formal make along, but it would be fun to have a little space where those of us who are working on ours or who aspire to be working on ours could kind of just cheer each other on, share when you finish a mini, when you finish a hexy puff, whatever it is. So if that's something you guys would be into, just let me know. Yeah. And the other thing that I want to mention, kind of along those lines, I'm sort of exploring if there would be an interest in, like, I don't know, a Discord chat group or an Instagram chat group or something like that. I don't know, where maybe people who don't have access to Ravelry or who prefer that form of communication versus a forum would enjoy that. I don't know. Let me know. I just think it's fun to chat about knitting with others. And I don't have a ton of people in my real day-to-day life to chat about knitting with, other than poor Mason, who listens to me go on and on and on for hours about it. Yeah. So anyways, just thoughts. Yeah. I'm really all over the place today, and that is fine. This is just the way it is. I'm all over the place every time, and it's okay. Last whip I have to share. Yeah, I know. Zipper, my book snake, has not been touched. We'll get to that in reading and watching. But I've gotten 2 out of 3, and February's not over. We've still got 13 hours and 10 minutes left. I am holding this upside down. Okay, so this is my Cozy Memories blanket, and I am following the pattern by Shelley Dupont. So my squares are all fingering weight, 32 by 32. And I have gotten 3 out of 4 of the squares I wanted done in February. I'm doing the same thing with Cozy Memories as with the Beekeeper quilt is also my 30 minutes of knitting a day, but I want to do 1 square a week this year on this blanket, or average that. Full disclosure, these have all been done this week, but the goal was to get 4 done for February because there were 4 weeks in February. So I've only got 1 more. So I did this square, which is Laughing Cat Fibers. It's in a discontinued base that I don't remember the name of anyway, so that's fine. But the colorway is Salmon Run, and I believe she still dyes this colorway. It is one of my favorite colorways of any dyer of all time. I love this colorway. It's so pretty. And then this one is from my girls Sam and Megan of Solstice Fiber Studio. This is The Salesman. I think from their Adventure Time collection, maybe. I bought that several years ago and made socks with it. And this is from my Ripple bralette. That's what that yarn is from. And this is from my fingering weight Rye socks. And this is from Ash and Bumble. I want to say it's like their field sock base in the colorway Autumnal Equinox or Autumn Equinox, something like that. And those are the 3 I've gotten done so far. I've got 1 more left that I'm going to do probably while I'm editing and all of that good stuff. And I'm going to use this yarn, which is from Fangirl Fibers. It was from a Halloween Schitt's Creek box from several years ago. I think it's called the Crowinning. I can't think of the exact name off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it's the Crowinning. And that'll be next. That'll fill in this little corner here. And then I will be done with my February squares. And I'll pick out some scraps and leftovers or whatever for March. I think I might be happy with the width now. We'll see. Once I get the next couple of squares in, we'll just see. I might go back and forth in rows at some point. I might decide to add another column to get more width. I don't know. I'm just kind of doing this blanket until like the wind tells me it's done. I don't know. It's fine. I'm really enjoying it. It is fun. It is colorful. yeah. Okay. That is all I've got as far as knitting goes. Future plans. I have a lot of whips that I'd like to put some work on. We'll see. We'll see. I do plan to cast something on for the spring equinox. Have I touched my winter one since my winter solstice cast on since the day I cast it on? No. Have I finished my autumn equinox cast on? No. Am I going to cast something on for spring anyways? Absolutely I will. Do I know what? Nope. No idea. So that's where that stands. March, I need to sit down today and think through my March goals. I want to keep up with the Beekeeper's quilt, keep up with my Cozy Memories blanket. Beyond that, I'm not really sure. I would love to get the fox that I talked about last time done. I would love to get a pair of fingering weight socks knit. That would be really great. But personally, March for me, I like to do themes each month, like personal goal themes. So like February was just eat in January. So we just ate in. We didn't eat out. We didn't, order takeout or anything like that all of January. Then February is pretty similar, except it's free the freezer February. We do both of those every year. And the goal is to eat through what we have in our freezer as much as possible to clear space. And March, in past years, we've done meatless March. But this year, I just, with my work schedule changing, I don't really have the energy to figure all that out. So, and in this economy, we're just mainly trying to eat through whatever we have in the pantry and freezer. So instead, I thought, well, I want to try something else this March. And I have a ton of things that need mended. I have a lot of socks that need darned or, just need some little duplicate stitches or something like that. And so we're going to do Mend It March. If you want to join me, let me know. I'm just casually doing Mend It March. But I really like accountability from other people. I think that's fun. So if you have a bunch of socks that need mended or other knits that need mended, or maybe it's, your upholstery on your couch has a hole in it or whatever, Mend It March. That's what I'm going to do. That's going to be my focus. Or just those little mending projects that need done. So I don't know what that's going to look like. I can tell you right now, I'll get derailed because that's the way this goes. There will be a Stitch Quest challenge or somebody will have some make along or something, and then I'll derail. It's fine. It is fine. It's just setting the intention. And even if I get one pair of socks darned, that's pretty good. That's one more pair that I can wear that's been sitting, waiting for some attention. Reading and watching, which my phone battery is pretty low, so we're going to go quick on this. Still reading, listening to the same audiobook. I finally finished the book that I've been reading, the nonfiction book. I haven't found... All right, background. I read a lot of dark and twisty books. And those dark and twisty books all have black covers. I don't have that much black yarn or black with flecks of other stuff. So I am on pause until I can find the right yarn to pop in for these books. As far as like adding to zipper, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. I've got the whole year. We're good. And I finished. So I read that. I read all of The Crash by Frida McFadden, and I don't really want to give a review because I don't want to discourage somebody else from reading it or make somebody else feel bad, but I did not think it was her best. If you like it, though, that's amazing. I hope that you do. I hope it was just me. But Mason also read it, and we had the exact same opinion. I felt like there was a large portion of the book where really nothing happened, and then we crammed in all the plot points in the last 80 pages. And her plot, like, it's there, she's usually a little far-fetched, and I can suspend belief. But there were so many things in this book that didn't make sense to me with the ending. The ending felt very rushed. I guessed most of it. I figured out where she was going pretty early on, and the ending of the book was a little too happily ever after for me. I don't know. I gave it a 3.25 on Storygraph. That's where I landed. That's about where Mason landed too. So if you have read it and had a different opinion, I would actually love to hear that. You know, I hope that other people did like it. You know, just because I feel bad when there's a book that a lot of people really don't like or whatever, but I don't know. I didn't think it was as good as some of her others. But again, mostly black cover. I am currently reading The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I just started it last night by Lori Gilmore, and that one is not a black cover. So I might have more success finding a yarn that captures it. It's just a little romance, which is, again, not my genre, but I read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe last year by the same author, or maybe it was earlier this year. I don't remember. And it was really cute. It was cute. The ending was very spicy, and I don't like spice very much, but whatever. I guess I can deal with it for 30 pages or 20 pages or whatever it was. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one, like more than the 15 pages or whatever I did last night. We watched Apple Cider Vinegar on Netflix. That was pretty crazy. I think that's about all I've watched. I did watch the documentary about the person that was based on. That was really interesting. Yeah, I think that's about it. Let's move on to grams. Let me pause this for a second. Let me go grab my grams. 1 second. Okay. Also, before I talk about grams, stash editions, I did not bring any yarn into this house in the past 2 weeks. However, Fangirl Fibers put out that she is doing her final July 31 day Pokemon countdown this year. And I did not get it last year. I was really bummed. I said I was fine with it, but deep down I was really sad. And so Mason did pre-order that for me for my birthday, which my birthday's in May. So he's pre-ordered it now. I won't get it till July. That's fine. But I think I'm going to end up putting that into my Beekeeper's quilt as well. I would really love for her to dye the 2023 one more time, just so that I could get my hands on it. It would be really cool to have all 4 years in this quilt, and it would be a bigger quilt, which I would love. But if that doesn't happen, that's okay. I'm just really excited that we kind of decided like it's the last one. I need to get it. So yeah. So we caved. You gotta treat yourself sometimes, right? So anyways, I will have a large influx of yarn coming in July. That being said, this month I had 385 grams out, which is about double, a little over double what I did in January. So that's not bad. February was a crazy month. That's not bad. I had 908 grams in, which was way better than January. So that canceled out to 523 grams in this month, canceling the whole thing out, which means I'm at 3,601 grams in for the year. I'm not worried. First off, this is just for fun. This is not a big deal. It's really just for my own knowledge, and it's fun to get yarn, and it's cool. But it is interesting to me what I'm knitting and how much, and obviously 135 grams of my 385 was my grandma knitting, which means my actual knitting was pretty close both months. Now, full disclosure, my Cozy Memories blanket and my Beekeeper's quilt are not included in this. So I knit quite a lot more than this reflects. But yeah, and other whips that I worked on, I don't know, I find it interesting. A lot of you find it interesting, so there you go. Life stuff. Are we on to life stuff? I think so, and then I think we'll go. We got all the stuff taken care of with my grandma's apartment. We got new to us furniture from her apartment moved in last weekend, which went smoother than I thought it would. And it's just really good to have that done. Yeah, that's been the big life thing, the big life stressor. Like I said, my work schedule is changing. I am so excited. I have been for the past 4 years working 2 nights a week. So Monday nights and Wednesday nights, like evenings. So basically close Monday, open Tuesday, close Wednesday, open Thursday, and then I work every other Friday. So the Friday and Saturday switches week to week. And that's my schedule for 4 years. And let me tell you, that is a really tough schedule. I have a really odd commute. And if you've watched Vlogmas before, you know, I have a really strange commute. And I'm going down to 1 night a week starting this week. I'm so excited. 2 nights has been really, really hard on me for a long time. It's really exhausting. And I am so excited. It's a different night. Just 1 night a week. It's great. But it'll take some routine adjustments too. But I'll get to go to knit night sometimes because I won't be closing every single Wednesday. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, so good change there. Pokemon. The Unova Tour in Pokemon Go is this weekend, which is just a virtual big Pokemon Go event. And I am so excited about it. My brother's coming over for the weekend. I took a 3-day weekend off of work so that I can fully immerse myself and play the whole time. And it's going to be really great. So that's tomorrow and Sunday. This week has felt really hopeful, and I really needed a hopeful week. But I think that's all I've got for you guys. I have nothing more really to say. Let me know down below what you're working on. If you have any advice about those DK weight socks, please let me know. Let me know if you're interested in any other type of Ravelry thread or any other type of like discourse, I guess, for this podcast or chat or whatever. That's all I've got. So I hope that for the next couple of weeks, you all find something that brings you joy and spend time doing that, whether that be crafting or knitting or you know, depending on where in the US or the world, really, you are gardening. Gardening season may be starting for some people, or at least that prep, you know, might be, if that's something that brings you joy. Whatever it is, I hope that you find time for something that brings you joy in your little corner of paradise. And I will just be knitting away over here in my little corner of paradise. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.